push for a friend.
Aloha, my lovelies, and welcome to another episode of the Critics Collective. Today we are going to be discussing Lilo and Stitch, the remake. According to IMDB, it's a lonely Hawaiian girl befriends a runaway alien, helping to mend her fragmented family.
Okay.
That's mad short. Like, it was one sentence that they gave us, and it's so much more deeper than that. But okay, I guess we'll accept that
Right.
for what it is. Oh, first of all, which I always forget to say this, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let us know how you felt about the remake, because I had plenty of feelings. Because as you know, the original came out in 2002. Yes. Of course, the animated feature film, and then, and now with our live action, well, we'll talk about it through the episode. Alrighty. So, Mayte, my darling, what were your first impressions or expectations in regards to this movie?
I try not to have too much high expectations because Disney, with their live actions, have been not in the greatest of terms. So I was a little nervous to see, seeing the trailer, seeing how they animated Stitch. I was like, okay, something. So I was very excited because I love Lilo and Stitch. Like, it's a very feel-good movie. The animations, like, even just like this, it's in a very original, it's not like a Disney princess or anything like that. It's just like a very animated, family-oriented film. So I just was hoping they weren't gonna butcher Lilo and Stitch. So,
I feel you. I have to agree with your statement. I really try to not have high expectations, especially with how Disney has been doing. I would definitely agree with that. But I do have to commend them on the animation. So, like, in the trailer, when I saw it, I saw Stitch, I was like, oh, okay, praise the Lord. I'm so glad they didn't try to do like their own little thing with it and change him up, because we're so used to him looking a certain way. I want to say that was probably one of my biggest concerns. But yeah, definitely no high expectations. I think, honestly, my thoughts was, do we really need a live action of this movie? Wasn't it great just how it was? Do we really need to see it in live action? But hey, they did it and we watched it. Alrighty, so let's just dive into our highs and lows. What were your highs and lows of this movie?
So let's start with my lows. So my lows were, I did like how they animated Stitch. And I think it's the original voice actor, if I'm not mistaken, of Stitch. So I really like how they kept that. It's very authentic in that sense. Now, the only part of the animation of Stitch I didn't like was more of the direction of it. Just because there were in two different instances in the film where I saw little hiccups, where it's like, I don't want to say it without saying it or spoiling anything, but it's just a certain part where she's like, oh, look, this is like Stitch. And like, she's pointing behind him. And you can see her arm clearly like extend past Stitch. That's one thing that I didn't like. And then at the end, when they were doing the little group hug, and Nani was petting Stitch, she's petting the air. So that's the only thing I didn't like.
She did her best.
Yeah, she did her best. And I'm like, they could have just used like something so she can actually touch and just mimic versus like the air. But aside from that, I really did like, because it was like growing up, seeing the animations and picturing how you would think he would look in real life. That part was realistic to me. I'm like, okay, this is how I think Stitch would look in an actual live action. They did change some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of the movie was very true or very close as you can be to the original. And then the
Mm-hmm.
half was like kind of completely, they changed a lot of things from the
Yeah.
original. So it's still Lilo and Stitch, and they still paid homage to some of the stuff from the original film, but then they changed a lot of the, main points of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and then they added like new things. So that part threw me off. I'm like, what is,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are we watching the same Lilo and Stitch that I saw like growing up?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this didn't happen. Um, but I overall, aside from that, I really enjoyed the film. It was very fun. It was funny. And you do have like, that one part in the end, um, when Nani's in the water, I
Mm-hmm.
had a little tear. Um, so I really did enjoy the film. I just wish they just stuck 100% to the original. I don't know why they didn't.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah. I
there
did
was
hear that.
no, I was gonna say, even if they wanna make more movies, we had a whole TV show, like a Lilo and Stitch TV show
Mm-hmm.
that they have plenty
Yes.
of things to get from, so I don't really feel like they should have changed anything.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely agree. I definitely have to say I agree with a lot of what you shared in regards to at least the lows, of course. I don't want to really say any spoilers in regards to my low, but I think everyone already knows this because technically the creators of the live action had already announced this,
Mhm.
that there was no Captain Gantu in this
Mhm.
movie. They'd already shared that prior to this movie coming out. Uh, I would have to say Gantu was one of my biggest characters that I was dying to see, other than, of course, uh, Lilo whipping Myrtle's ass.
Oh, yeah.
That part, I was like, I don't know. I was like, if they're not gonna have Gantu, I doubt they're gonna have Lilo whip ass. Uh, but I really wanted to see her like just get down and beat her,
Mhm.
which is horrible. Which is horrible. That says a lot about me as a person. Um, but yeah, I that was like the biggest low for me that they didn't have Captain Gantu. Some of my biggest highs is that I do love that a lot of some of the original actors did were in the movie as well.
Yeah.
Like Tia Carrera, Carrera,
The
I don't know.
Nani's voice
Yeah,
actress?
who?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did Nani in the animated movie, and then of course she came back of course, as a social worker, though, in this one, Jason Jason Scott Lee came back, even though he had a small part, and that they still had what was the woman's name that plays the Grand Councilwoman,
Oh, yeah.
Zoe Caldwell, I want to say her name is.
Mhm.
Because of course, like the Grand Councilwoman, she had a very distinct voice in
Yes.
the animated series, and I'm glad that they kept her voice the same for the live action. I did notice that they changed it though, that she wasn't just Grand Councilwoman, she was Queen.
Mm.
You know, that I saw they made a little change with that, that she I guess now was royalty in the live action and not just, the Grand Councilwoman of whatever galactic
Mhm.
whatever they were. Um Another low for me is I know that Zach Galifianakis, he played the voice of Jamba.
Oh, okay.
Um, but in the animated series, it was David Steers. So Jamba's voice was also very distinct.
Mhm.
That would be like if they changed, like how you mentioned, the voice actor for Stitch came back.
Mhm.
People would have been upset if they changed his voice. I'm not saying that Galifianakis didn't do an amazing job,
Mhm.
um, with his character because he is a very good actor. This is actually a different portrayal than in most of his movies because usually he does a comedy. At
Mhm.
least this is the first time I've seen him be quite serious and be, the bad guy. It was a little off-putting for me, to be honest, because I'm used to him being so funny. So for him to be serious and straightforward, it's like, where's my Zaki? This is not my Zaki. But Jamba's original voice, he had, I don't know, I could be incorrect on how I'm describing this, but it had more of a Russian feel to it, when he would talk to you. So I felt like that's what I was expecting to hear from Jamba. And that's not what we got. We got an American voice actor, to play that part. And I don't know, it kind of ruined it a little bit for me. And yeah, I want to say those were like my biggest lows. Now, for highs, I don't want to say I have many because I don't. I want to say, damn, I can't even say the pacing of the movie because Peakley was funny. Yes, I would say the actor who played him as like in human form was pretty good. He just had this innocence to him that was just so sad. And he was just so overly trusting. And I was like, oh, baby, stop. I guess that could be a high. I can't even say the pacing of the movie because at one point, like even my daughter, who I took to see the movie, was like, "Mommy, this movie is taking a really long time."
Oh my god!
And I couldn't blame her because in the beginning, I kind of felt like the pace was kind of slow, and maybe it was just me. But yeah, it was so slow moving, and I was like, "Oh god, like this really needs to get to the point because not even the animated series is this freaking slow."
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't really say I have many highs other than the actors themselves. And that of course it ended on a happy note. I would say maybe this movie was cute.
Yeah.
But that was it.
It was cute.
It was cute, it was cute.
It was cute, it was funny.
I kind of wish, I know some people don't agree with this, but I really would have just, if they were going to do a live action, I wish they would have just stayed to how the animated movie was.
Yeah, that's what, exactly.
Do like an exact copy. Like, hey, you guys want to see what this will look like in real life? Boom, there you go. And then that's it. I hate when they try to change it up for this newer generation, knowing that it's not for you guys. It's for us. It's for the OGs, okay? So yeah. But, it is what it is. But anyways, you ready to rate this, baby?
Yes.
So, as you guys know, here on the Critics Collective, we actually grade everything with accolades. 5 accolades meaning excellent, 4 accolades meaning being good, 3 accolades average, 2 below average, 1 poor quality, or 0 horrible. So, my darling Mayte, what would you rate the live action Lilo and Stitch? And of course, no half points, no half accolades, because I know
no half C's.
Boss man be getting mad, like, hey, I want whole numbers.
I'm gonna give Lilo and Stitch the live action a 3.
A 3?
Yes, a 3.
You're gonna give it a little higher. A little higher than me.
Oh. I mean, I was laughing throughout the movie, and there were some stuff, that were similar, that they kept in the movie in the beginning. Yeah. It was a feel-good movie, so give it a solid 3.
That's good. All right. Well, I'm gonna give this baby a solid 2. It was more disappointing in some aspects of it more than anything else. Not that, I heard with opening weekend in one day they made over, what was it, 110 million?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess in the opening weekend the movie is doing good, but for me it wasn't as great as it could have been. I actually enjoyed the little popcorn sets that they give you for the movies.
Oh,
For AMC, they give you like this cute little bucket with a Lilo and Stitch cup, and you get different Stitch figurines, and then you get the Stitch
aw.
ears. I enjoyed that more than the actual movie. So, yeah. So, already, guys, you heard it here on the Critics Collective. My lovely Mayte, she gave it a 3. I myself gave it a 2. But, of course, if you agree or disagree, please comment down below and like and subscribe to us as well. I want to thank you guys for joining us on another Critics Collective. Bye.